Just go for it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 14 of the MainPod. We have Julian working tech here. And then today I want to share with you an amazing special person. Not only is she a wife, but she's a new mother. Yay! So I'm excited to have a good friend of mine, Laura Rojas Diaz, here on the MainPod.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you for having me. This is so cool. I love the setup. As soon as I walked in, I just loved how everything looks.
I'm excited
Awesome.
to
The
have you here.
aesthetic of it.
Yes. Speaking of the aesthetic, we were, if you guys that missed it, we were literally talking about soothing sounds of voices and crinkling noises and what's it called?
Okay, so it's this thing called ASMR. And I don't even know what it stands for. I don't even remember, but I just stumbled upon it on YouTube one of these days. And I was like, this is kind of weird. Like, this is like a fetish thing, or what's going on with this? Because it's all about soothing sounds, but it's also like role playing involved. But the point is, like, you have to have like a whispering tone. And even with like people just kind of crinkling paper or touching trash bags, boxes, just like these sounds,
Like little poppers, those little
poppers,
like popper
anything
things?
like that, people love. That's what I'm saying. It's like a
Crazy.
fetish.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah, but it was weird. Like, I just stumbled upon it. I was like, this is kind of weird. But then I started getting more into ASMR, more into it. Started becoming relaxing for me. It helped me fall asleep. But this was before Ava. This was before my daughter was born. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Look it up.
I'm gonna look it up because I don't know about you guys. I have really, really bad like sleep patterns. I have horrible insomnia. So I've been trying this whole like the waves and like the soothing of the sounds of nature. Yeah, it helps me fall asleep, but then I wake up like, okay, what time is it? What the heck? Like I gotta, I'm on the move. So I wonder if this will help me.
Maybe it will. So it's either
these are just interactive. So like, do I have to like touch stuff? Or,
No.
What do you mean
It's actually, it's not interactive. Like, you're just
Oh.
watching the videos. But there's like two different ones. There's like a role playing one where there's people role playing different like scenarios. Like, there's people from the 1800s. Like, they do like these little movies. But then there's also people that are just kind of talking, but they're whispering, and that helps. And then there's no talking videos, and they're literally just like crinkling paper or like those popper noises or anything that makes sound.
That's
Yeah.
so great. That sounds wild to me, but I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Check it out. I don't know how I found it, but if you want to call it a fetish, let's call it a fetish. But
I don't know how soothing it's gonna be, but we'll figure this out.
No, you're gonna call me later and you're gonna be like, okay, I watched the video and you're right.
All right. I'll try this tonight. We'll see how it is tomorrow.
Okay. I'll probably even send you a video too, what I watched.
I know. Oh yeah. So there's different types.
So many different ones. It turns out there's like tens of thousands of people. Some of these videos have like 100K plus watches and views, and a lot of these subscribers, I mean, they have over 1 million subscribers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this is a career for them. ASMR, and it starts like this, just a nice whisper.
I wonder if they use this in movies. Like, well, they do, right? When like let's do the background noises, the stuff of the horses.
Yeah. Now imagine giving a video tour of a home in ASMR sound.
That's
Welcome to this 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in the city of Rancho Cucamonga. Come here and take a tour. Doesn't it make you want to keep watching?
Yeah. I feel like I hear like Denzel in the background just when he's narrating the story. Like, okay, tell me more.
Or Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. There you go. Why was I thinking Denzel? Either one. They have soothing voices. Trust me. Anyways, but going back to you, Mrs. Rojas Diaz, tell us about your life as a new mother and as a mother, also you and your husband's also in the industry, but he's on the tech side of things, correct? Or
yeah, it's so funny. A lot of people, especially in our industry, think that he is in real estate, but he's in the IT industry. Yeah, so it's cybersecurity, network management, but he does have a lot of real estate companies, escrows, lenders as clients. So from time to time, we'll be out and people will think he's in real estate too. Or I'll be at a real estate meeting and they'll ask, where's your husband? I'm like, he's not here. He's at the office doing his own work.
Yeah. You're like, I'm the licensed agent.
I am the realtor. I am the realtor. So he has his own business. He's had his business for years. I don't even know how long now. But he does have several companies in real estate as his clients. And so I get the confusion. But yeah, new mom life is great. Love it. Our daughter she'll be 6 months.
Oh, wow. Already?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, half a year
Oh my
already.
gosh.
And it's kind of weird because it's like one of those things where you think like, how did I do life without you? Like how you just, and you were in my belly, this time last year, I was sick all day, every day.
Oh my
I
goodness.
couldn't do anything. I definitely couldn't work. It was the hardest time.
Really?
I remember this time last year, I was actually on a Zoom interview with a magazine, Inland Empire Real Producers. They were considering me to be featured in the magazine. So I went through an interview process and it was Zoom. So I did it from home. I was deathly sick.
You're like yakking on camera.
I wanted to so bad. I was holding it in.
Oh my
And
God.
the woman who was interviewing me was very understanding, right? She was like, I've been there, 2 kids, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, yes. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, I got to go throw up. The moment I ended that Zoom, I ran straight to the bathroom and I threw up. It was so bad. Yeah, I was
That's
sick.
crazy. See, and I can't picture you as a non-working person because I knew you obviously before you were pregnant, after your marriage, before you were pregnant, and you were so on the go, always in the office, always, bien movida, very movement. Like you're on your let's go, hustle. So for me to picture you not working while you're pregnant, again, I'm not a mother, so sorry for mothers out there. I don't understand yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day.
Yeah.
But it just like, that has to be hard for you.
That was the biggest transition and the hardest adjustment. Yes, because you're right. I was always in hustle mode, just wanted to be out every single day. I would get in my car and go. That's one of the reasons why I loved real estate. I love real estate. I loved visiting different cities and going to different places, all the way from San Diego down to Big Bear and Los Angeles, East LA, whatever it is. Like I loved traveling all over SoCal. And when I became pregnant, I was sick every day, the whole 9 months. The whole thought.
That's my fear. I'm like,
well, the whole thought of like the first trimester sickness, like it did not stay in the first trimester for me. So it was a huge adjustment being home sick a lot. And then on good days, I would get dressed and go, but there were less of those days compared to years past in real estate, kind of being in the office.
Right.
I was in the office much less. I just really couldn't do any of that. So that was really hard. But then after having her, it's also like the transition continues because again, I cannot be out every day. I'm with her. I'm taking care of her, which is the biggest blessing, right?
Right.
My point is, though, it is a change. It's a big transition, and it's part of this postpartum adjustment that nobody talks about, and it's so sad. It's like the biggest stigma because I wasn't prepared for that, and I wasn't prepared to be highly emotional. I wasn't prepared to go through this postpartum experience. Because it was always about like, the biggest blessing of having your child and it seemed like everything was fine and you're adjusting to them. But what about the new mom and trying to adjust and saying goodbye and grieving the old life, right? And then, welcoming the new life and trying to be a badass in the new life.
Right.
That's kind of been the adjustment. And I'm still in it. I haven't quite adjusted to it, but I have transitioned better. And so now that she's, a few months old now, she's half a year old, I'm able to be out to work a few days a week, which is good. I do work from home a lot, which was also a transition, but I'm making cold calls while I'm at home. So I'm kind of like my own ISA, my own inside sales agent. So I'm making more phone calls from home. So I'm doing better with that, working from home more than like having to be out and work.
Yeah, and being out in the field in the office and stuff. And obviously you set your appointments according to. So yeah, I can see that's the thing, like imagining the mother, the transition, like you said, the grieving part, like saying goodbye to that old life, especially when you're so used to being free, up and go, let's go. Now there's a human you have to care for. And okay, I have to pack the food, pack the clothing, and are we good to go? Are we not going to go? What's the weather? Like there's a lot of things you have to keep in mind. But going back to the transition as a person, I didn't know that was something that wasn't talked about as far as the grieving part of saying goodbye to the old you to a new life. Not at all as a negative, but just as that emotion as a female that we feel. We're emotional creatures. So yeah, I haven't heard that part.
It's the biggest adjustment.
Yeah.
And I wish that I can advocate for those people, moving forward, because now I've been through it.
Mhm.
And so I've met new moms. Like I have a girlfriend who just became a mom for a second time. And I have a family member who became a mom for the first time over the last 2-3 months. So I'm constantly reaching out to them, like, how are you doing? How is baby? But
Checking
how
in
are
with her.
you? Yeah.
Yes.
How are
See,
you
and I
doing?
think that's the most important thing that a lot of us forget to do, because I can say, speaking for myself, I feel like I'm a pretty good girlfriend. I usually check in with my closest friends, and it's the question like, how are you? Right? It's
Yeah.
how are you?
Yeah.
It's the biggest, most important, but most simple question that people, surpass all the time. It's just asking, sitting down and, hey, how are you?
Right.
How is your day?
Right.
How are you feeling? Not just how are the kids, how's the family, how's life, how's work. It's how are you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, everybody's all about the baby, which is, of course, what you want. So they come to the baby. But, what about the mom? Like she also
Sucking up
needs
all our lives. Okay.
Yeah. She also needs, a shoulder to cry on,
Right.
or a massage, or, at least the dishes washed or something, make a little dinner. That's kind of where I've been with all of that. But in terms of support, the support's been great. And I've had, my mother-in-law, my mom help, additional family members help. So that's been good. But I will just say, like, the old self is what I'm saying goodbye to. The get out of my car, or get in my car and go fast. Now I have to pack several bags, and I have to time it between, baby feedings, or like today it was raining. So I have to time it with that too. So there's a lot of timing, there's a lot of structure. But if anything that I'm learning now is that it is about time management, and it is about structure. Which obviously also ties into real estate,
yeah,
right? It's like the same thing. So what I'm learning in that sense with being a new mom, I'm also transitioning it into real estate, because now I have a little bit of less time to be out. So I'm structuring my appointments better. I am pre-screening sellers and buyers better. There's a lot of things that I'm doing, and I'm improving a lot with it. That's helping me out. So I see that, this could be a great adjustment, and it can continue helping, selling the production that we want to sell.
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
be more effective with it.
Be more effective with it. Because I don't want her to be the excuse as to why production has fallen. I want her to be the reason why production has increased.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is another question I'm kind of curious about too. On the father side of things, because I hear a lot about females mother. I wonder, I'm curious to see, that grieving process, that change process, do you guys share that? Is that something that you and your husband also talk about together? Or do you feel like it's a totally separate, I mean, obviously it's a separate thing or feeling, I would say, between a man and female, but is that something that's shared upon between you guys in this transition?
So I think that, so every couple is different, right? So I think in our case, I think I was grieving more than he was, but I also think at the same time, he may have been, thinking about the old life privately, which I give space for. So I think it's just kind of different for every couple. But in this case, I think it was more me that was more open and sharing. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. Depends on the person, the couple. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm always just curious because you always hear the moms, the mom groups. I'm like, I wonder if there's dads groups out there too. Like,
I've heard, if anything, like, in going through this and in researching and in reading blogs now and whatnot. So I've heard that some men usually do grieve because they don't have the attentive wife to them anymore. Now the attentive wife has become the attentive mother. So they miss the wife going to their needs, right? Or making their needs a priority. Now they're bumped off a bit.
Yeah.
And, so
you're number two.
You're number two. Yeah.
You're number one.
Yeah, exactly. So I've heard that.
Makes sense.
I've heard that's the common, if there's any grief from the dad, that's the most common one.
No, that totally makes sense. Yeah, because you have to be the mother, the wife, and it's a juggle, right?
Yeah.
It's a balance that you have to find. And speaking with that time managing stuff, share a little bit of
stuff.
that stuff. I will one day know, guys. Okay, find me a husband first. Valentine's is coming around the corner, so I do like white flowers, roses,
and the ASMR voice.
And the ASMR voice.
White flowers, white
Red
roses.
Because we ain't in love yet. That's too soon.
Yeah.
So going back to prior to your daughter and all that, saying all that. Prior to your daughter. And I know right now you said it's managing your time a lot more effectively, even with your business. Share with us, how did that start even prior to, like, what were you doing in real estate to help, yourself get more production?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the cold calling? Because you mentioned that now you're cold calling a lot more from home. Is that something that you implemented a lot more in your business now? Or was it something you've always done?
No. So we'll say, BB for before baby.
Before baby.
So
I like that.
Yeah. So BB. I wasn't calling as much. I was actually, because I'm more of an in-person, I'm extroverted. So I like being out, right? So BB, I was hosting a lot of open houses. 1 year I hosted 50 open houses. So I was kind of around that amount. So a lot of my business came from open houses. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people that I met through open houses and I helped them through the purchase have now purchased multiple homes through me. And also some have become like personal friends of mine too.
Oh, that's awesome.
All from meeting at a little open house.
Again, It goes back to customer service.
Yes,
I keep saying that.
And the best way was that those were open houses that weren't even mine. Those were open houses. Those were vacant homes. I would just call when I didn't have a listing to host. I would call listing agents usually midweek, and I would call from vacant homes or of vacant homes in the area. And I would just simply ask them if it would be okay for me to host an open house. I would let them know, information, the details of who came to the open house, how many visitors, any agents showed up, what the feedback was. And a lot of agents did appreciate that. So they allowed me to continue hosting open houses of any listings that they would have in the future. And so that helped a lot too. There were a couple homes where of the homes I was hosting, I actually did find the buyer for them and we ended up opening escrow.
Oh, awesome.
So that was also a big plus. And then others, I would just show them other properties and then we would just open escrow at that point too. So a lot of my business, number one, was from open houses. And then came the referrals and then came the growing database. And just, I was receiving business from a lot of my database too. Obviously the trust, the customer service was really good. But and then the phone calls. The phone calls was like the last
thing for you.
Yeah.
And now that you have baby, that's your priority, or not your priority, that's your main.
It's changed now.
Yeah.
So
isn't that crazy? I always and we've talked about this on previous podcasts before. The relationships you build, not just with your clients and the customer service you give, but also with agents. And like you mentioned, you would call other agents and, hey, can I host an open house for you? Because you're building that relationship for them. So they're more likely to call you on their next property. Let's say they have a listing. Hey, Laura, are you available to host this weekend? You're continuing that relationship growth. And then who knows, maybe you end up working with them. It's important to grow your network.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think for us as agents, within our industry, you have to keep growing that network because, again, it goes back to you never know who you're going to work with. And the doors is open for you because now it's more open houses. You build more relationships, within your company and out your company. And then the clients you got from that are now continuing, referral businesses.
Right. If it's one thing I've learned from, I grew up in a real estate family. So if it's one thing I've learned from my parents is how important your integrity is. And your reputation in the community.
Can you say that again? How important your what is?
Oh, it's called integrity.
Oh, I'm going to amen.
Yeah. Amen. Integrity. Yes. So integrity is really important, having a great, strong reputation in the community, because no matter what, I mean, the state of California is flooded and saturated with licensed real estate agents, but the producing agents is what makes it a small community. So we know everybody, right? In that case. So it's really important to have your strong integrity and a reputation. So, talking to agents, communication is really important. And obviously, you don't get all of the agents saying yes to hosting open houses on their listings.
For sure.
They use excuses all the time, just how, when you're cold calling expireds or for sale by owners, they're also using excuses or being really rude. So you get that a lot too. But I mean, you just kind of keep pushing and you just find that until you find that one
that says yes.
Yeah.
And then you open their house and you get the buyer and you build your clientele from there.
Mhm.
So that had to have been a huge adjustment from everyday people talking to let me get on the phones,
Mhm.
Let's be real. No one likes to freaking be there on the phones all day and dial because
No.
you get all the no's and everything. But it goes to show there's no excuse, right? There's no excuse for a working realtor to not get production and to not, build their own business and brand for that, because it is a brand at the end of the day that you're building, which is
Mhm.
your brand, And I always hear, and we hear this all the time, excuses, rainy days, can't do open houses, or, but for you, you don't have that,
Right.
I
don't have that anymore. I mean,
anymore.
I would give myself excuses.
I think
Like,
we're all
we all
at fault
do,
for that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're only human, and we've done the excuse of, it's raining. Maybe I won't host the open house after all, or, maybe I won't go show this person. They're not even approved anyway. And,
Yeah.
that whole stuff. But there's always excuses. But I think at this point in my life now, she's my reason. So even when I don't want to do it, even when I don't want to call, because there's burnout and, there's repetitious boredom that exists.
Right.
So even when I feel burned out from it, I just remind myself
Why?
of who I'm doing this for and my why. Yeah. It's a much stronger why. So I push through it. If I don't want to door knock, I push through it and I door knock. So it's bringing those basics back for the time being. It's been good. It's been humble.
Right.
Yeah, it's been humbling.
See, that's the constant reminder we have to remind ourselves as agent, because like you said, it becomes a boredom after a while because it's repetitive, right? But at the same time, our work does rely on that consistency. Without that, we're not going to grow. We're not going to see, hey, you know what? Maybe this didn't work for us. Now we got to make that change for this. And it's not a 30-day, it's like a 60, 90-day, consistency where you're going to see, hey, do I need to readjust my business plan because this isn't working? So it's that constant reminder, like you said, your why. So for you, it's, your baby and your husband and your family. For me, as a single, we'll put that out there again, as a single, hey.
Man. Just ASMR her.
I know, right? Just give me that soothing sound.
That soothing sound. And those white red roses.
Yes.
Or white roses.
White roses. Or I'll just take them. Give me gifts. For me, it's myself. I feed myself, without myself going out there and hustling and bustling and doing what I have to do. I don't get fed. No one feeds me, so I am my why right now for my why for what I want for my future,
Sure.
So, but it is that constant reminder because again, like you mentioned, we are human. We get bored. Man, I don't want to go door knock. Like, perfect example, and I think I've mentioned this on one of the podcasts. My last listing I had last month, it was pouring rain like it is today. Go figure. And it was a Saturday, and I was like, man, I just put the property on the market. I'm about to do open house, and I'm like, I don't want to do open house. It's a freaking hour drive with traffic, mind you. Thank God I did. The first agent to walk into that property on day 2 of it being on the market was the one to submit an all cash offer, full price.
Look at you.
All because I said, you know what? I don't care if it's raining and I'm soaking wet, and I put out my signs, but I walked in and got it sold that day.
Yep.
Like, it only takes that one time. Like you said, we can't be lazy of our business. We can't be lazy of what we do. Yeah, we get bored. No, we don't want to do it. I'd rather be home and, cuddled up and watching Netflix or whatever. But, with my, some flowers on the side. Give me those damn roses, guys. I'm about to go buy some after here. but it's the consistency we have to keep doing in our business in order, to get that next paycheck, because we're only as good as our last deal.
Yeah.
You can have 2 escrows, but one might fall out that month. What's plan B or C? Like, we have to keep going.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love to watch that about you too, because I be stalking people all the time. I ain't afraid to say it. I stalk agents, because it motivates me. I love to see my friends win.
Yeah.
It's a huge motivator, because then I look at myself like, damn, Esther, stop being lazy. Get up, go to the gym, get up and go door knock, get up and go do this. If they can do it, they got kids 4 or 5 kids, whatever, I got no excuse. You know, I have no one to be like, man, I'm just gonna go home. It's 5 o'clock. No, I can make one more. I can do one more hour of cold calling.
Yeah.
You know, just that consistency. Like you said, for you, it's a huge adjustment.
Yes.
From being out in the field every weekend or day or however many days you did. You said 50 plus open houses. That's huge.
Yeah.
To now you're scaled down, but you're on the phones.
Yeah.
You know,
I had to find a different way. You know, just there's so many lead generating sources in real estate, and you know, an agent may just tap into two, your average agent, but the strong ones know that you need at least 5 or 6 sources to stay consistent. And you know, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I would focus mainly on like the top 3 sources, lead generating sources, BB, before baby. And knowing that the top agents do 5 to 6 and on and on and on. And that's part of their consistency. So now post baby, I'm like, okay, I need to add in more lead sources, but I also need to readjust a little bit here. So cold calling went from like, you know, number 5 to now number 1.
Right.
Open houses are now down to number 3. Database will remain at number 2. You know, vendors or door knocking will follow that as well. So I think it's just about adjusting to it. And you know, you mentioned your why, and everybody's why is different. I remember every year thinking about what my why is, and I always had a hard time figuring it out. One end would be like for my own, you know, to be more financially free, or, you know, because I'm getting married, that was one year, or because of this and that, but it never really felt as strong as it does now.
Like a really intentional personal one.
Yeah. Like it
was a reason, like you said, a wedding.
Right.
You know, it was something to like a goal to reach for. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's like, it's not as strong as it is now. And so I think that an agent kind of understanding what their why is, that is what will remind them to keep pushing every single day. Because again, repetitious boredom does exist, and we do get complacent. That also does exist. But if we miss out on a week's worth of work or even a month's worth of work because we got, you know, 3 great closings the month before, we became behind.
Right.
We're behind again. And this is the industry where you can earn. So, I mean, you can earn, if you want to earn $20,000 this year in real estate, do it. If you want to earn $250,000 in real estate, you can do it. If you want to earn $1 million, you can do it. That's the beauty of this industry, is that there's no limit. So you can earn what you want to earn. It just comes in different forms and in different ways. Next, it's going to be flips, or next, it's going to be investing in your own real estate, whether that's through Airbnbs or long-term rentals. Like we got to get to that next level.
No, I 100% agree with you. And finding your why, are you like a vision board kind of person? Like for me, I have to visually see my why too. Like I know, like, and I'm just speaking for myself again, for my why, like I have set goals, but I also have my why. And I always have in big letters, me, and then I have like future. But I have to I have it on my desktop and on my laptop so I can visually see, remind myself. Because again, I get like you, I'm like, well, it just becomes like an active daily routine, right? And that's not what we want. That's not what our industry is for. It's it's a routine to an extent, you know, but you have to constantly move with the market, change with the market, adapt, you know, be that chameleon. But going back to the why, that has to be your number one strive and focus and work harder towards. So for me, having a vision board, like a yearly vision board, and I even adjust it, to be honest, like every quarter, I kind of look at it again. Like, is that really my why now? You know, like for me, that's what I tend to strive for.
Yeah. I definitely have done vision boards in the past. I've loved it. Crazy enough, there was one year where I created my vision board and I had a picture of a woman pregnant working out. And so that was, if anything, I'm sure other things have actually like manifested itself through the vision board, but that is the one that I most remember because so it was, I created it in 2022 was my vision board. So January is when I created it. And it was December of 2022 when I became pregnant, or November, but it was so right at the end, I became pregnant.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I am a big believer of vision boards. I am very much a visual person. To add to that, what I also do is I have a whiteboard in my home office, and I write out just monthly goals. So I've already cleaned out January. You work on February now. What are your goals for February? And then on the whiteboard, I write how many of those, how many listings am I going to take? I have my ideas to have three listing contracts signed this month. Or how many appointments do I plan to set? 7 appointments this month. How many escrows do I plan to open? You know, how many closings do I plan to have? Like, that's also the type of like visual I need, so that when I'm tired or feeling burnt out, or when I'm like on the go again, but I can't quite leave, and you know, I'm on the go on the phone, then I just look at it and I'm ready to dial and smile.
Yeah, I do that. I actually, it's funny you say that. I do that on my bathroom mirror. So today I changed it to the February. I did little hearts and cute, but I do the little tally so I know where I am. Like for me as a recruiter as well, I do, X amount of people I want to recruit, and then I tally how many I've recruited. And then at the end of the week, I'm like, damn, I'm behind, or how many appointments is set to get those recruits, right? Because right now I'm really, again, we all get out of our comfort. So I'm bringing my focus back. And now I have my plan of action. So I'm doing the 100-day contacts. Thanks to Main Street, we have this little like contact sheet. So I kind of cross off of, okay, for recruiting calls, or even my own prospecting calls, how many people I've contacted. So I'll go back every night or morning, when I'm brushing my teeth or getting ready for the day, and I'm like, damn, I'm behind, or no, I did do this, So it helps to kind of check me.
Yes, yes. And by the way, I love agent recruiting. That's awesome.
Yes, it took me a while. I'm going to say this. Like, I never thought I was a recruiter. That wasn't like something saw myself doing. I've always done operations, back end of office, you name it, done it. But as far as recruitment goes, I sucked, girl. I mean, let's be real. I freaking sucked in the beginning. And it took me a good, I would say 2-3 years to finally, I found myself really loving it now.
Good.
Yeah, I was afraid to call agents. Like, it's one thing calling like prospects, when you're cold calling, you're getting the no, like, F you, don't call me, take me off your calling list. I'm cool with that all day. I'll take the no's. But when you're calling your own, peers, you're like, dang, just say yes, just make me play me, just to make me feel better, like now I'm like, I'm cool, I'll even get brokers call me back, like, it's a broker call. I'm like, yeah, by the way, do you want to change company? Do you want to join forces?
Yeah. Or do you want to be in a great community?
Yeah.
So,
like, do you want to take the liability off of yourself?
Right. Yeah.
Like, now I'm in a different space, and I'm not afraid to call, and not afraid, at least like our peers,
Sure.
that, oh man, that was a big fear for me.
Wow.
Big fear. I don't know why. It was like a little embarrassing. And I don't know how to describe it. Like I didn't know how to start the conversation more so. Like, how do you start that conversation with our peers?
Yeah.
But obviously through a lot of, training and coaching and mentoring. And I went to a lot of brokers, and I got a lot of help. And, even here at Main Street, like, they've really coached me. And now I'm in that comfort space within myself to make those calls and not be afraid to do the recruiting calls.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
It's
a whole different niche. I'll tell you that.
Whole different thing. I mean, can I share with you like my experience as an agent recruiter? So I think one thing
that's right. You were, girl. We gotta talk.
I know we gotta talk. We gotta talk. Exchange information. So I think it was one thing that I learned from agent recruiting is that as a recruiter, you have to come from a place of passion, just like you do with selling real estate, right? When you ask any realtor, why are you in real estate? The answer is always the same. It's because I love helping families, right? I love helping families. I love seeing homes. Well, that's their passion. And so that's what they want to do, is help 25 families, 30 families, 50 families plus a year. When it comes with recruiting, you just switch that from families to agents. And the best way to recruit is that you're in this office and you're seeing all the benefits to being here, and you're seeing all of the agents strive to be the best and reach their goals and be in a better position that they were in previous years. So then you turn that around and you talk to the agents who haven't quite been there yet, or who haven't been there. Yeah. Who haven't been there yet, or who just kind of forgot how to, and they need to get back into it. You let them know that that's where you are. And that's how you invite them over, whether it's to a meeting, a training, or whatever. And then you just you talk to them a little bit more about what their goals are. A lot of agents, I think, are just kind of hesitant and afraid to move, because that means they're actually needing to work.
Yeah.
Right. And so they've been in such a comfortable position for a long time, whether they're financially suffering, they're still in a comfortable place. And so the move is scary to them because they kind of feel like, what if this change is good? But then they also think, what if this change is bad?
Right.
They're used to one certain way. So I think if anything, it has to come from a place of passion. And that means it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
You have to talk to X amount of agents a day, from the seasoned to the newbies, and talk to them differently. And, just let them know like where you are and how the compensation is. And a lot of people, they end up moving. They want to, they need to.
Yeah. And I agree with you. It does come a place of passion. Like I honestly, and I'm talking about this company specifically here where I'm at now, like I'm very passionate and I believe in what we have and offer our agents. So I talk about it with a lot of pride because I am very prideful of it, and I am, those that do know me, I am the supporter. I'm big on that. I do love to see other people succeed. So it sounds so cliche, but I always say your success is my success. And I live by that 100%.
You're right. And I know that about you.
100%. I
You're
live
definitely
by
a
that.
great supporter.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I really, again, I've been with other companies years ago in the past where it's like, it's harder to sell when you're not a fan of what they have. Because then it just becomes a job, right?
Yeah.
It's really just a job.
Yeah.
And that's not me. That's not my character. Money might be great, whatever, but it's not me. I'll leave.
Yeah.
I have to be passionate and about what, I can't sell you something I don't like. It's hard, at least for me. It's hard for me. So I really take pride in that.
You have to believe in the mission.
Yes. I really take pride in that, and the value and everything we have to offer. I'm again here. I'm not recruiting, but if you want to call me, give me a call. I'm gonna call you.
Don't forget the flowers.
Don't forget. Yes. So no, I do agree with you. And that's, excellent advice. And I'm definitely gonna talk to you even more so diving into that. But changing a little bit over, I want to talk to you about your nonprofit. For those of you that don't know, can you please share with us your nonprofit organization that you have?
I formed a nonprofit in 2018 called Tenacity 8 Foundation. It's a women empowerment, women leadership nonprofit. Yep, all the ladies, holla. And I did it because it actually came from, I've always been a supporter of nonprofit organizations. I worked for a nonprofit over 15 years ago. I have volunteered through nonprofit work, right? Place of passion, as we've talked about, like we said. And so the funny thing is, it started internally in a real estate business, in a real estate office. It started with female mastermind groups. And so I was able to form a mastermind group with women in this office organization. And I saw the power behind it. It helped everybody grow. It even helped, it even helped women, produce more and be at home more. We saw a positive impact from it that we were always asked, like, do you have room in your mastermind? And we kind of left it at the maximum of 8. Because anything more than that, it was kind of like people, would be hiding behind other people.
Is that where your number 8 came from the name?
Yeah.
That's why you only have 8 in the seat or like in the chair?
Well,
or how does that?
It came, the number 8 came because when we started the mastermind group in this real estate company at the time, we maxed out at 8. We wanted to max out at 8.
Okay.
So that was kind of like the magic number. But 8 is also like infinity. And so, there's a great positive symbol behind it too. So, but it was mainly because we thought that 8 was a good amount for a mastermind group. Anything more would just kind of be distracting and people hiding behind other people, and nobody would be able to get like the attention that they wanted and go from there. So anyway, so the mastermind group lasted for years. And then when I decided to kind of open it up to not just in real estate, and not just out of like from a specific office, I had even a more positive impact. So I decided to just kind of form the nonprofit organization. I did not want to do this for profit. I didn't want to do it as a business.
Right.
I didn't want to be, what we have today, whether it's a female empowerment coach or other coaches out there. No disrespect to them, but me personally, I didn't want that to be my big business and career. I genuinely wanted to help other women empower themselves. And then out of that, we would help the community, more specifically underserving communities, high school students or young mothers or just young women altogether who are trying to either succeed as an entrepreneur, whether that was through hairstyling, through some type of other manufacturing and production, or anything. It didn't have to necessarily be in real estate. We can help form them through through the mastermind, and that would help. We would also plan to help high school senior females who were looking for jobs. A lot of times in these underserving communities, families don't have enough to take them to send them to college. They have to
the
work.
resources are really limited.
They're very scarce. And so, they are required to maybe work a full-time job for a year after high school and then revisit the idea of going to college. And by then, the idea may wear off, or they actually may go, which is great. But instead of them going into work with no experience, fast food restaurants or like Amazon warehouse work, I wanted to be able to give them the resources and the tools they needed to be able to find an office administrative job. So that could be their first or one of their first jobs, as opposed to working in the fast food industry or in warehouse work, where really you go nowhere from there.
Yeah.
So that was really important to me. That was my way of giving back to the community. So nonprofit work has been there, and I've had a great board of directors. I had them for a few years. And then on a personal note, when I got pregnant last year, I just was too sick and I couldn't fulfill the duties that needed to be as a founding president. And then at that time too, a lot of the board members, they also had different things going on, and so they also had less time. So we currently don't have a board of directors.
Oh, okay.
So now that everything's better and we're adjusting back to life, right? Or I'm adjusting back to life, the nonprofit will come back to life soon, and we'll be able to help again and start with masterminds. But masterminds was a big thing through the nonprofit. I would probably say that was really strong, not just for business, but we also had it for health and fitness.
Oh, okay.
So
nice.
I found a really great health and fitness coach. His name is Ray. He's actually here in Rancho Cucamonga.
Nice.
And he participated in the mastermind groups. He would give really great tips and ideas and exercises for women who wanted to lose weight or help hold themselves accountable to lose weight. And then I had it for career women. So women that were working a 9-to-5 job that wanted to maybe work, climb up the corporate ladder,
Right.
for example. So, or switch careers. So we had the mastermind for that too. So it's a great mastermind. It's a great overall nonprofit organization.
Do you still keep in contact with a lot of these girls? Let's just the ones that you said, like even from high school, where you place them and help them get into these corporate jobs to start off. Do you still keep in contact with a lot of them, or is that something that it dies or ends at a certain period of time, like once?
I keep track with a lot of them. Some of them just kind of went off to do their own thing, but I would say I keep track with the majority of the ones that we've been able to help, and the ones that participated in the mastermind. And we also had events. We had a Pose and Prosper event, which was something that we kind of formed together, and that was like a headshots, like professional headshots. So we had different events too. So there's a lot of women that I still keep in touch with. The majority of them.
That's awesome. So how soon are we looking to have this come back into life, would you say?
Well, I guess, since we're on here, if anybody's interested in knowing how to be a part of on the board of directors on a nonprofit group, has a time, it's a volunteer position. We need all positions are open. So it would be nice to have that nonprofit again going. And we just need a strong board, because it comes with everything. It comes with, we need grant writing experience. We need just the know-how of nonprofits. We also need a business savvy person. We need somebody who is familiar with finance and accounting. There's so many things that we would need in a nonprofit.
Yeah, well, I'm going to volunteer myself. I'll definitely be open to that, to, volunteer my time, because again, we make time for what's important to us. And that's something I would love to give back to the community.
Yeah.
And, even just helping females and women themselves, because it's my sister used to be, in a personal note, my sister used to be a foster care agent, and just seeing, again, when you're moving from home to home, those resources become limited, and being that door to open that to other, females out there to show them, hey, it's not just this industry, like you said, fast food, where you can only go from here.
Yeah.
But you have all this endless opportunities that you didn't know, but let us show you, let us help you. Grants.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I know when I was filling out college applications, like I went to school off grants, guys. I literally did. FAFSA, thank you, but the grants, but the grants, honestly, because I had someone and with experience to say, hey, did you fill out a grant? Did you do the scholarship? Did you do the essay? Did you do whatever? Without that, I would never have known. And I probably would have taken out this huge ass loan, and still been in debt with it.
I will say this, because of nonprofit work and grant writing and kind of just learning about that, a lot of business owners don't know that there's also grants available for for-profit businesses. So like, let's say, for example, a business like this, you can apply for grants and be able to be awarded grants. A lot of people think that grants are only for nonprofits, but they're not. They're also for for-profits. More specifically, they're also a lot available out there for women-owned businesses.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
that's really cool.
Yeah, I invite anybody who might be interested in joining the board. And again, it's a volunteer position, and we'll talk about everything after.
So if somebody wants to reach out to you and volunteer, how would they get a hold of you?
Oh, well, you can call me. This is my number.
Right. That soothing voice. Here we go. It's coming out.
It's 909. Just kidding. No, my number is 909-815-8358. But also Instagram. You can direct message me on Instagram. My handle is at Laura Rojas Diaz _.
Okay. But again, I am excited to hear that. I'm very touched and moved, honestly, because I know of very few nonprofit organizations out there that my friends do have, but it's not related or not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not as community driven as far as helping independent, women get off their feet to, start whatever it's career or just some sort of path. It's focused on other stuff or, and for me, it's like, for you, I love to give, and again, I love to support. So that's something that would definitely be something close to my heart, where I will want to volunteer because I have the time again.
Yeah,
and make time for what's important. And that's important to me. It's giving back.
That would be amazing if you did, because
I would love to.
A lot of women need support. A lot of women. I mean, whether you are a single woman, to a mother of 5, to a mother of 1, to a wife, or to a woman who is what do they call now? Empty nester. Where all the kids have already gone to college, and now you're thinking about self and like, what's self going to do now? Like, I spent the last 17, 18 years busy raising children, and now they're off to college. What am I going to do now? So many women need support. And not only that, like, to help in the underserving communities, it's just as important, because like I said, people don't know. They're not either knowledgeable or they settle.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yes, you don't know what you don't know. And I'll touch on Hispanic communities because I'm Hispanic. A lot of Hispanic communities in underserving areas, they think just one way, and that's, you got to go work no matter what. A job is a job. You go get it. And what if this person who's a first generation person, wants to do more? What if she desires to do more? What if she has a vision of holding a corporate seat? What if she has a vision of becoming a doctor or a vision of becoming a nurse, but she doesn't know how to get there because the family's not telling her.
Right.
The family is telling her to get a job, and she's not guided. Maybe she's not guided in school properly. So that's kind of where we would just want to step in and be able to give like the right classes and be able to help them kind of at least just get your first job, not in a warehouse, not in a fast food industry, but in a place where you can end up, growing from it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, something as simple as, like you said, even just helping someone fill out an application.
Oh yeah, that too.
Like that right there. It's crazy. I know when I was in school, that was a big thing. Like, how do I fill this out? And in my head, I'm like, we're here. You know how to read. I know you know how to read.
Yeah.
But literally it's something that's very overseen. Like people don't know how to fill out an application, and I want to be that resource. I would love to be that resource of someone. Let me help you fill something out so you can apply yourself to better.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's That's really important. And that's where when you don't ask for help, like you said, you kind of, you won't do it. You won't apply.
There you go.
Yeah.
You touched on something that is crazy. People don't know how to ask for help sometimes, or we're scared to ask for help.
Yeah. Or they're scared.
They're very scared, because I used to be that person. Now I'm like freaking parrot, like, help me do this. Help me figure out how to sleep better. Now I know what soothing sounds.
Yeah.
Help me how to make more money. That means got to get up and work, people. You know,
Yes.
want to lose weight, get up and go to the gym.
Yes.
Eat right.
Yeah. Eat right. Portion control.
But asking for the help, that's a big thing. And to piggyback on, as far as speaking for us as Latin females, it's figure it out, right? It's always been, you know what, go figure it out. You know, and not knowing how to ask for help, because we're looked upon as the strong woman. You got to, you know, survive.
Okay,
make it happen.
I think we need another episode on that, because exactly that is like, we're learning to figure it out, or you got to do it on your own. That's with postpartum too. A lot of women don't seek the help that they need during postpartum, because they believe that this is what how they're meant to feel and be. And if they ask for help, they're frowned upon as weak, and they just got to focus on the child, and that's it. And so they go years with that. They end up growing this resentment because they never healed from postpartum, or they didn't heal from that experience that they had. And then it's a whole different life. It's a negative life.
Yeah. There's no peace or happiness within yourself. And like you said, there's no grieving. And we will do another episode talking about grief and stuff like that, because that's something I went through. And even if outside, again, I don't have kids, but I can only imagine it's just the learning how to deal and heal, you know. Without that, you can't move. I believe, at least, there's no moving forward. Right.
Until you heal from that grief.
Yes.
In all aspects.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that was very broad, guys.
No, but let me take it to that. We definitely, the next episode will be a podcast.
It's gonna be a part two. To Laura Rojas Diaz and Esther here on this podcast, because we got to talk about healing, dealing, manifestation, all that good stuff. But no, it's very true. I have found, like, now I'm in this peaceful state of mind. Like I said, I'm a refocus and getting my why right. Because of a bunch of distractions and excuses I gave myself. It's constant chase. But even with you, like I said, this nonprofit, that's freaking amazing. So getting back to that, and getting back to yourself, and as a mother now, as an entrepreneur, as a businesswoman in your business, you know, that's a big transition in life.
It's huge. It's huge. You know, a lot of clients, when I would meet with them, like on listing appointments for the very first time, or buyer consultations, I do share that I run a nonprofit, and I do share that a percentage from my commission check does go towards the nonprofit and what it helps with and everything. And a lot of them are very impressed, and it's, you know, they like that, because they say, like, oh, you know, you're the women leader, you know, women leadership all the way. And now with having a daughter, I'm just relearning these things, like how to be a badass again. There's a really good book out there by Jen Sincero, and it's like, she has this like badass like trilogy books. It's How to Be a Badass.
The yellow one.
Yes.
I
the
read
yellow
it.
one.
Yes.
The green one is
green one.
How to Be a Badass While Making Money. And then there's another one. I don't remember. How to Be a Badass, something else.
Yeah. But you are a badass. And that's the thing. We have to keep reminding ourselves that, saying those affirmations. Like, I'm constantly posting daily affirmations, because and I post it not for the gram, but I really post it for me, because it helps me to, like, I read it, I manifest it, and then I put it out there.
Yeah.
That's my way, how I interpret it. However it is that you interpret it, do it. And that you have to remind yourself. And I admire you for stepping up and speaking up on behalf of so many and doing the work you do. That's very admirable. Like, girl, you are a badass, you know, like as you've always been, you know, and now you're going to greater power, you know, and now as a mother, now it's a different light, right? It's a different light of, let me show her, the next generation, of what, not necessarily what we should be doing, but how we can make a change and a difference.
It's insane.
And how we can empower people.
Yeah.
You know, with support. Girl, I'll tip my hat to you.
Thank you. It's insane to know that these little eyes are going to be watching me.
That's awesome.
These little eyes at this moment, she loves to watch me get ready.
Aww.
I'm just like in awe. Like, I can't believe like, if you're watching me get ready, you're really going to watch me in the future. So therefore, I really have to step up my game as a wife, as a woman leader, as a real estate agent, as a future investor in real estate, as all of that stuff. These kids really watch. It's like insane. But yeah, it's whole different thing now. So
yeah. Well, like we mentioned, we're definitely going to do another podcast.
Yes.
Part 2.
Yes. We need
so
part
with
2.
wrapping everything up, I loved having you here. Thank you for coming, being on the podcast. And again, tell everyone where they can reach you at. Share your IG, your phone number, whatever that is. How do we find you?
I was so glad to join here today. It was so nice. And I definitely can't wait for the part 2. We definitely have to set that date up. And so I could come here and enjoy the aesthetic of the MainPod. They can reach me on Instagram. It's my best way. And it's at Laura Rojas Diaz _. So that underline. Or you could just call me 909-815-8358. And I hope I can talk to you guys soon.
Yes, and stay tuned. We are going to put out the nonprofit. That way you guys, if you have any questions about it or want to get involved in it, you can reach out to Laura, myself. We'll put our information out on IG. That way you can contact us. Thank you again for watching our episode. Thank you again, Julian, for being our little IT backdrop.
Thank you, Julian.
Yay. And we hope to see you guys next Tuesday. Not next Tuesday, next Thursday at 2:00 here at the MainPod. Bye.